Tomorrow being a National Jiggers Awareness Day, the second edition. And joining us in studio to talk a bit about this is a man who, for all intents and purposes, has been associated with the fight against jiggers for the last 12 years or so now. Dr. Stanley Kamau, Executive Founder and CEO of Ahadi Kenya Trust. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
12 years of the fight against jiggers. Yeah. Where are we now?
I can say now we have actually achieved a lot. As you have said, tomorrow is a National Jigger Awareness Day. And having a National Awareness Day is actually a very big milestone to the fight against jiggers. So that means that the fight against jiggers is not about Ahadi Kenya anymore. It's about the whole community and the Kenya at large. Okay.
Yeah. It's not about Ahadi Kenya anymore, but there are some Kenyans who feel that Ahadi are the ones doing the work. What can I do in my own limited capacity, even as they watch this interview? So what can Kenyans do?
What Ahadi has done is just to raise the awareness and push the government and all other stakeholders to come up with a policy. And right now we have the Jigger Awareness Day. So anybody else, we have the national guidelines on prevention and control of jiggers. So that policy document actually guides each and every person, from the Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Education, provincial administration, community members, all stakeholders on the law and duties that they can be able to undertake to be able to eradicate jiggers in the country.
Briefly, give us a hint. So what would you find if I had my hands on the policy today? What would stand out in a nutshell?
When you as a journalist,
yes,
if you go to the policy document, there's a section where the media, what's the role of the media in the fight against jiggers, education, training, and trying to raise more awareness. So every department, both the civil society, government, community members, churches, all organized groups, it actually defines very clearly what role each and every person should take in the fight against jiggers. So it's not about Ahadi Kenya, it's not about Kamau, it's now about the Kenyans in general, what kind of laws we can play in the eradication of jiggers.
When was the last time a survey was carried out to find out how many Kenyans are dealing with the jigger menace? What are the latest statistics that you have?
We did our last survey about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Where we had almost about 2.8 million Kenyans. But I can tell you that figure has reduced according to our observations, maybe to about 60% already success stories.
Okay.
But from the ministry information, next year or this year, we are going to carry out a comprehensive baseline survey to establish those small pockets that are remaining on how we can be able to eradicate.
Which counties would you say were most affected?
Initially, we had Kwale County. There were about 15 counties. We had Kwale, Murang'a, Kiambu, Vihiga, Kakamega, Busia. There are about 15 counties.
Okay.
But right now, it has narrowed down to very few counties. Right now, the county that is leading in jigger infestation is Busia County.
Busia County.
Busia County. And then we have Vihiga County. We have Kwale County. So we are narrowing down to those counties that are now affected.
Take us deeper. What would you say are the factors that make these counties or people in these counties susceptible to jigger infestation?
What I can tell you is that we've had a very good, counties like in Murang'a, Kiambu, Kisumu, Homa Bay, like Migori, we've had a very good working relationships with even the county governments and the local leaders. So this is one factor that contributes to success stories, when the leaders come together and actually acknowledge and agree that we have a problem. Counties like in Busia and other areas, there are so many other factors. If you look at those counties, most people who are jigger infested, most of them believe in witchcraft.
I actually saw that in some report.
Yeah, and other cultural factors. Umerogwa, such things. But right now, with the Jigger Awareness Day, we are going to educate people on why the jigger infestation, what are the causes, and what are how can you control and prevent the jigger infestation?
Okay.
Yeah.
I get the feeling then when you say that there are some leaders who have immediately taken and understood what you're trying to work for and worked with you, it tells me that there may have been some leaders who feel that, no, I don't want my county to be associated with jiggers, so don't come here. Do you get... Have you gotten some resistance?
We don't have that anymore. It used to be there a few years ago.
Okay.
But as I talk today, we don't have any leaders that are denying that jiggers exist in their particular areas. What we have is that most of these counties didn't have budgets. But right now, as we talk, I've talked to most of the governors and the CECs for health in most of the counties, but they have all agreed that come next year, there will be a budget to be able to fight the Jigger menace in the country.
Okay. Yeah. One of the challenges with fighting the Jigger menace is not just its actual presence there, but the stigma around it, that there are people individuals who might want to say, even if I have it, I don't want people to know. What have you done to counter that stigma?
Actually, the biggest stigma is not about the people affected. It's about the leadership or the people who are affected in other ways, or the people who live with those people.
Who live with those people,
Their neighbors who have the stigma. They don't want to talk about their neighbors who have jiggers. We have teachers who don't want to talk about their schools. We have church leaders who don't talk about their churches. So the stigma is not about the people who are directly
they won't help.
Jiggers. Them they won't help. The stigma, actually, the biggest stigma we need to fight is on the people who are affected, not infested.
Okay, not infested. The campaign has now spread beyond the borders. I've seen Tanzania, Uganda. Talk to us a bit about what challenges are there.
I'm not seeing any challenges like in Uganda and Tanzania, because the government taken up the issue of Jigger menace, and they are doing very well. What I can tell you is that where we are headed, we are looking at by 2020. I don't think we should be having anybody in this country who be having jiggers. And I can tell you even now, it's very rare for you to find new cases of jigger infestations. We only have those old ones. That means the awareness has been created and people know on the ways and means on how to eradicate it.
Okay. Yeah. We know also that you have come up with some sort of painless and pinless method of removing jiggers. Just kindly explain to us how that would work. Before
we started the anti-jigger campaign about 12 years ago, people used to remove jiggers using pins, which was very, very painful for children.
My goodness, it sounds painful.
And that's why most kids didn't want to be removed jiggers, because it was very, very, very painful. And then now we decided that instead of using pins, because it has also side effects, because if it comes with other infections, like even some cases of HIV, another tetanus and such other things, because people normally don't have the money to buy even that one pin. So what they would do, like a family, they would share the pin, different members of the family. So we decided to come up with a painless and pinless method of removing jiggers. This is where you dip your feet on the solution of disinfectants, and then the jiggers suffocate.
Oh, the jiggers suffocate?
Yeah, by themselves. So within 14 days, they'll die. And if you did, I'm sure you did biology.
Some basic biology.
Any dead substance from your body is pushed out after some time. So they die inside the body, and within 14 days, the person is free from jiggers.
And you're calling it painless?
It's painless.
Even when you dip your feet in that solution?
Nothing.
Prevention measures?
Yeah, prevention measures.
What other prevention measures would you now say Kenyans need to be thinking about, especially in the affected counties?
Another thing we are doing now is that we are very big in distribution of shoes. I can tell you, so far, we have been able to give more than almost 6 million pairs of shoes to school-going children. And I want to see that no child in this country walks barefoot, because that's one of the other causes of jigger infestation. And also, it also brings stigma. When we have some students who are wearing shoes, others are not wearing shoes. So we are going to make sure that each and every child who is in a day school, walking to school, they wear new pairs of shoes. We don't want those stories that everybody gives, that I wore my first pair of shoes when I was 20, when I went to high school.
Yes.
We want from standard 1, from ECD, all the way to standard 8. Any child who is in primary school must wear a new pair of shoes.
What? And sorry, you finish. Must wear a new pair of shoes. And
this is what we are going to do. So we have a plan of how we are distributing the shoes to different. We start with the schools that are affected, and then we go to other schools that are vulnerable, and those other schools that are poor. And we make sure that each and every child wears a new pair of shoes. Okay.
The results of the work that you've been doing is undeniable, but of course my role is also to keep you accountable. What sort of structures and safety measures do you put in place to ensure that when you tell us such things as you've told us now, that those things are actually done? And of course, some would then ask, where are you going to get the money to make sure every young person out there who doesn't have shoes can get shoes?
What I can tell you is that the shoes are already donated.
So you have donors who...
We have signed a contract for 10 million pairs of shoes. So we're not talking about something that is not there.
Oh, with who?
So with Tom's shoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based in
another organizations. So when you talk about we are going to give 10 million pairs of shoes, we're not talking about some that is not there. We don't commit for some that we don't have.
So what you're committing for here?
What we commit is what we have.
Has already been set up.
And if you go to most schools like in Central Kenya, Coast Region, Nyanza, you see, and you always find children walking to school with our shoes.
What's the theme of the National Jiggers Awareness Day tomorrow?
Tomorrow the theme is socio-economic empowerment as a way of eradicating jiggers. As you know, is that jiggers is as a result of poverty. So we must be able to bridge and break the poverty cycle. So what we are doing tomorrow, we are going to celebrate our Jigger Awareness Day in Kisumu, Muhoroni.
Oh, okay, so you have to leave after this.
Yeah, that's Chemelil grounds. And why did we choose Kisumu? Kisumu is one of the counties that have very good success stories of people who have recovered from jiggers and where the leadership has actually accepted and they are helping in the eradication of jiggers. And also Kisumu, we have not done any livelihood project. People have been asking, why did you choose Kisumu? So, and you know, in Kisumu, there are very few ways of economic empowerments. So tomorrow we'll be distributing 3,500 chicken to 35 women groups. These women groups are going to help us in the fight against jiggers, because once they get empowered, the small things like pins, soap, shoes, they can be able to help the communities buy such things. So tomorrow's theme is actually the ultimate, what we want to do in future. We want to make sure that each and every person who has recovered from jiggers is economically empowered, so that we don't have to keep on giving shoes. We don't want to keep on giving...
Because they can afford to buy shoes.
They can afford to buy. And that's why that theme.
Okay. Finally, one of the challenges you face taking the anti-jigger campaign to certain counties is that some of the leaders there have felt that you ultimately have political ambitions, and that once you're done helping the people, the next thing you'll say is, now vote for me and I want to be your leader. What would you say to those who have to say that 2022 is coming up? Is that something you've considered?
Well, no. What I can say is that community service is by itself politics. Is one of
in what ways?
Because you are associated with communities. You talk to people, you mobilize for resources to help people, and people accept you and appreciate you.
But you don't have ulterior motive. Community service has good motive.
Yeah,
politics,
I'm talking about that's good politics. Community service is good politics.
Okay.
So come 2022, me as Kamau, there's nothing I can, because even the issue of jiggers is not me who sat down and decided. God must have had a plan for me to do these things. So if God has a plan for me to join politics in 2022 or whenever, you cannot actually resist or deny what God has put in place for you.
It sounds like you're announcing that you might.
No. It's for the people of Murang'a or the people of Kenya to see whether I can be a good leader or not. Okay. If they think I can be a good leader,
who are you to say no?
I cannot say no. But if they think I cannot be able to lead, we might not say no again. So politics is not about what you do. It's people who actually see. Anybody who says, I want to do 1, 2, 3. Because right now I'm one of the advocates for that members of parliament, senators, governors, women rep, MCAs, and everybody else, the work they do, actually, if it's me who's been asked, they should actually volunteer to do it.
For free?
For free.
Without a salary?
Yeah, you should volunteer to do it for free. Because why are you saying you are going to do work for the communities?
But how will they fund that? When you look at, let's use a county like Kitui, Turkana, huge. How can you do development?
I'm talking about the service. You should not go there and start looking for money. You should not go there and start looking for salary increments. You should not go there and start looking for allowances. If you decide, just like any other person who works in the communities, we have the church leaders and everybody. Of course, there's the allowances for when you work. But most of these members of parliament don't even work. I've seen cases where members of parliament just go to parliament, they sign the register, and they walk out. Those people are actually not supposed to be members of parliament. Okay. They're actually supposed to be in jail, because that's stealing from the public and that's loss of public money.
Dr. Sani, I'll have to cut you off there. Thank you so much for finding time to be here with us. I think you've made some serious revelations, although you'll deny it. But I suspect that some of our viewers, in a sense, might read deep into what you said. But thank you for finding time to be here with us. We await to see what will happen tomorrow. National Jiggers Awareness Day, Kisumu County is the place to be. And of course, we're having that discussion with the executive founder and CEO of the Ahadi Kenya Trust. Thank you.
Thank you.